All right, today we're diving into Kazakhstan, and let me tell you, it's a land of incredible contrasts. We're talking about a place that's so huge it feels empty, yet it's so landlocked that it somehow became our gateway to the stars.
Just try to picture this. A country so massive, it stretches all the way from the cold plains of Siberia down to the scorching hot deserts of Central Asia. We're talking about these unbelievably huge, sweeping landscapes.
So just how vast are we talking about? Well, it's over 2.7 million square kilometers. That makes it the 9th largest country on the entire planet. It's a true giant on the map, no question about it.
To give you a little perspective, that's almost 4 times the size of Texas. But here's the first big, kind of mind-bending contrast. For a country that massive, it's completely landlocked. Not a single kilometer of coastline.
And yet, and this is what's so cool, this enormous, landlocked nation is, strange as it sounds, our launchpad to the stars. It's home to the Baikonur Cosmodrome. I mean, this is the legendary spot where humanity's entire journey into space kicked off.
So how do you even begin to wrap your head around these contradictions? Well, that's Kazakhstan for you. Let's dive in and really unpack its story.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the people. Because really, to get a handle on Kazakhstan today, you absolutely have to understand its national identity. And it's one that's been shaped and then reshaped again over centuries of just dramatic change.
And this timeline, wow, it really lays out a turbulent history, doesn't it? The story starts with nomadic tribes, then slams into the Soviet era. That period brought some really tough times, like forced collectivization and also a huge wave of new settlers under what was called the Virgin Lands Program. All of this completely upended the demographics. So much so that, get this, by the time Kazakhstan got its independence in 1991, ethnic Kazakhs were actually a minority in their own country. Ever since, there's been a major effort to bring that balance back.
And what you're seeing here is the direct result of all that complex history. This is the ethnic makeup today. Ethnic Kazakhs are now a strong majority at 71%, but you still see a really significant Russian population and other groups. It's a perfect snapshot of the country's layered past.
So the total population is just a bit over 20 million. Now, when you stop and think about how absolutely massive the country is, you realize it's mostly empty. The population density is incredibly low, with most people living clustered up in the north and down in the south.
And that brings us to our next big contrast. This one is rooted right in the land itself. The unbelievable wealth it holds versus the deep wounds it carries.
I mean, Kazakhstan is, to put it simply, a treasure chest. It's sitting on these huge deposits of oil, natural gas, coal. It's even a world leader in uranium. And that's not all. On top of that, you've got a massive variety of metals. Gold, copper, iron ore, you name it. This stuff is the absolute bedrock of its economy.
But of course, that wealth came at a steep price. The country is now dealing with a really tough environmental legacy, and a lot of it traces back to the Soviet era. We're talking about radioactive sites from old defense industries, really bad pollution in some cities, and land that's been ruined by everything from diverting rivers to overusing farm chemicals.
Now, all that resource wealth, it's turned Kazakhstan into the economic engine of Central Asia. So let's pop the hood and take a look at that engine, shall we? Check this out. The economy is growing at a really solid 4.8%. And that strong growth, it's coming directly from exporting all those resources we just talked about, plus growing demand right at home.
And there's no mystery as to why. The World Factbook puts it pretty plainly. Kazakhstan's economy is the biggest in Central Asia, and it's all because of the country's huge natural resource wealth. It's that simple.
Now, if you look at who it trades with, you start to see this really delicate geopolitical balancing act. You've got its huge neighbors, China and Russia, as critical partners, right? But then you also see major Western economies showing up as key places for its exports. Kazakhstan is clearly playing the field, building connections in every direction.
But here's the catch. Being so reliant on those resources, well, that's the country's single biggest economic challenge. The big question is, how do you build a stable future when you're tied to the crazy ups and downs of commodity prices?
And this whole push for a modern, more diverse economy brings us to our final theme. And it's a story that, honestly, perfectly captures this journey from a Soviet past to a high-tech future. And here it is, the legendary Baikonur Cosmodrome. This is where it all started. Sputnik, Yuri Gagarin, the dawn of the space age. And today, it is still the largest space launch facility on the planet.
but it operates under this really unique deal where Russia actually leases the land from Kazakhstan.
So this timeline here really tracks Kazakhstan's own journey into space. It started with them just participating in Soviet missions. Then they moved on to launching their very own national satellites. And now they're partnering with China on a lunar-based project. I mean, that's a huge signal of their growing ambition, and maybe some shifting alliances too.
So we kind of end up right back where we started, with this nation of incredible contrasts. You have a land of immense space and resources, one that was shaped by a really turbulent past, but is now looking straight ahead to a high-tech future. And the big question it faces now is, how is it going to navigate that complex balancing act between its powerful neighbors, managing its incredible natural wealth, and its own soaring ambitions?